Hi there. Welcome to another session of Tiara Talks. I'm Elizabeth Ruske, and I'm being joined today by my business partner and fellow global partner, Andrea Henning.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. This is a weekly conversation that we have, and today's conversation is on a topic about checking in on your intentions. It's a time of year where you might have set some intentions formally or informally at the start of the year. Maybe you didn't set them at all and you're just wondering how the year is going to end. But the point is that this is a great time to just pause, take stock. If you set intentions, figure out if you're tracking, make any course correction. If you haven't set intentions, there's still time. Set some intentions for the rest of the year and then work towards them. So that's going to be our conversation today, the power of intentions, the importance of intentions, and the way that they can produce results. So Andrea, when we just talk about intentions, we've even stopped calling them goals, I think.
Yes, yes. I think for a long time, because it really gets tight, and our creativity gets squeezed out of it. I always love the saying of Alice in Wonderland. If you, now I forget about it. If you don't know where you're going, you will end up somewhere else. I love that expression.
Yeah.
And the knowing where you're going is not in line of goals. It's like, what would you like to have happened? What are you looking forward to experiencing in the time ahead? It can be something simple like, I'm going to have a vacation. How would I like to experience that vacation? And why is that important to me? So it's that conversation that is then weaved in some kind of intentions that we put out there every year, and we check on them on a regular basis.
Yeah. And so do all of our clients. One of the things that we encourage them to do, well, it's interesting. We've seen over the years that once you set intentions, if you don't even look at them, whether, we have a very simple 2-page, integrated leadership map for the year that we encourage people to fill out and go through the steps for that. But if you went through that process and you set priority outcomes or intentions or intended outcomes or goals, if you want to call them goals, if you set that and you took that sheet of paper and you put it away and didn't look at it all year, you would probably achieve a good 30 to 50% of them. We've seen that over the years. So that's a very powerful statement. Just the intentionality of calling forth what you hope to see occur is very powerful. Now, Imagine if you were working a plan or checking in on it regularly, you would be course correcting and you would be helping. Well, we also ask you to take an inspired action, like, okay, do a check-in. Are you on pace? Are you tracking okay? Are you ahead of pace? Are you behind? Is there anything inspiring that you want to take on? Sometimes an inspired action is to not have that intention anymore.
Exactly.
I know, for example, for me this year, one of my intentions was, I had 2 sons that we helped put through college, and we were so close to paying off the final piece of their college tuition. And my intention was to have that off. But instead, I decided to redecorate our living room and our dining room. And so I decided to scratch that. That can be the next year's, intention.
Yeah.
And in doing so, that was a very conscious act. I didn't do it by accident. I did it by looking at my plan and by looking at the outcomes. And I said, no, this action one feels better for me right now to enjoy.
Yeah. There's one important piece when we set intentions, and that's the piece that these intentions should come from the heart and not from the mind. So not from a should or fixing something. Because then they create the magic, and then they can be course corrected also. And this new intention, this new goal that you had of decorating your living room and dining room comes also because it answers to values that you have. So these involving the heart is pivotal there.
Yeah, I think so too, because you really do have to check in on what's, like you could say, well, what was the big deal? I was just gonna, I'm just redecorating my house. No, to your point, Andrea, I'm actually tapping into something that
Yeah,
I want my home to feel very welcoming. I
yeah,
want it to feel, that people that's comfortable. And that people can, gather, and family is very important to me. One of my key values, and quality time with people is very important to me. So being able to actually have a space that supports that value,
mhm.
it fits. It's in alignment with what I'm hoping to
Yeah,
achieve.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And these plans that you were talking about that we create, they are all about alignment, alignment, who you are being with your values, with your how we call it, innate callings, like where's your talents, and then there's this intention as that rolls out every year. But it's exactly this alignment piece that we have to check in on a regular basis. Are we still
Yeah.
aligned with the plan?
And one of the things about our integrated, we call them an integrated leadership map, is there's personal things on that map.
Hmm.
But we look at your whole life. We look at your professional life. Like, what are you trying to accomplish in your profession? As a leader, who do you stand for? What are you trying to accomplish?
Hmm.
And being able to tap in and recalibrate, am I showing up the way I
Hmm.
expect or I intend to?
Hmm.
There's a lot more things on our integrated plan than just the outcomes. There's the how we want to show up in the process
Hmm.
of achieving these outcomes. And that's a both and. I'm throwing a lot of little, buzzwords out here, but being able to not just focus only on the results.
Yeah.
That's what, when we had the phrase just goals, that's what we found we were doing. We got so, myopic about just the goal. We lost sight
Hmm.
of the process
Yeah.
and the way we wanted to go about it.
Hmm.
And, and it works for us,
Hmm.
and we encourage our clients, both, the professional individuals and the teams that we work with, to
Hmm.
actually find a way to talk about them so that it's inspiring and not a burden that they're carrying
Yeah.
around with them.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 Precisely. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. What also is deeply ingrained in this plan is what you personally deeply care about. It's like even the core of the core values. It's what you stand for, but also what you deeply care about. And just I have found out this last year, it's so easy to lose track or to feel bogged down by a lot of things. And revisiting what I deeply care about was such a compass, was such a
Mhm.
like, okay, how can I bring that to the table? How can I act from there? How can I show up from there now within all these circumstances that are moving all the time? And that was extremely helpful for me, I found.
Yeah. I think, kind of to just wrap up the conversation, I think, you know, what we're encouraging people to do is to set an intention. That may require that you get quiet to figure out, what do I want,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
But to actually live your life on purpose, to set an intention for an outcome, to be clear about how you want to be about going about that outcome, and to expect that it's going to show up. Like, you're going to actually do it because you're taking the actions and you're recalibrating however you need to in order to support yourself
Mm,
as you go about your life.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, I know that sounds simple, but I do think life can be that simple, you know? We can make it harder if we want.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. We can. And there is this little. I always joke a bit about there's this difference between the Netherlands and the United States. Like in the Netherlands, I have to force people to look what went well, where are you moving towards that, because the immediate focus is on what could I've done better. But there's so much learning in what we've done well and what went well, and so much gratitude there. And that's the fuel when you have to course correct. And sometimes we have to course correct big time. Then you need the fuel. You also need to be present to all the good stuff there. And I always found that the United States, the American people that I coach, they're a lot better in that, more trained into that direction than the Dutch here. It's like,
Well, I think, my three favorite questions when I'm looking at kind of an assessment is, asking myself, what do I want to continue?
Mm-hmm.
What should I stop doing? And
Mm-hmm.
what do I want to start doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just asking myself those questions, something usually pops up that's inspiring and really helps me stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, that's one of the reasons why we have our 15 Days to Wow program, which is, we spend 15 days. And what's going to be coming up shortly is in September of 2021 will be a program where it's the 15 Days to Wow, but we spend 15 days re-examining, where we're at. It's a check-in. It's our check-in, in terms of, are we getting what we want out of the year? And if not, what do we want to do about that in
Yeah.
order to get the results that we're trying to
Yeah.
get?
Yeah. And it's a great time, September. New academic year starts. I always love that. I feel as strongly as January for September, sometimes even more. You have the same thing. So it's a perfect time to, even if you haven't even started with a plan, to just start with intentions and take stock there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we hope you'll join us, and thanks for listening in, and join us again next Friday for another Tiara Talk.
Yeah. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye.